Good afternoon. Hello and welcome to Mastering the Art of Success. I'm your host, Debbi DiMaggio, and we are here today with Paul Young. Let's
How
bring
you doing,
him
Debbie?
in.
Thanks for having me.
Good. Oh, good to see you. So great to
You
see you.
too.
Thanks for coming. Paul is with us from the Cayman Islands. And so, right when I introduced him, we will throw some beautiful photographs of where he is in the Cayman Islands. So, let me introduce you properly, and then we will go to my notes. Then we will ask you all kinds of questions and learn all about the Cayman Islands. So, thank you,
Awesome.
Paul.
Well, I,
All
I have
right.
all the answers.
Oh, good. Wonderful. Awesome. Today, I'm excited to introduce Paul Young, a seasoned real estate professional with over 40 years of sales experience. Paul's entrepreneurial spirit started early at just 17. He launched his own house painting company and by 20 was running it in Los Angeles. He then spent 11 years in sales, successfully working in office equipment and telecoms before shifting into real estate in 2002, where he has been making his mark in the Cayman Islands ever since. A graduate of McMaster University and a Canadian born entrepreneur, Paul has lived in California, Bermuda, and now the Cayman Islands for his past 25 years. His deep appreciation for island living, combined with decades of sales expertise, makes him an invaluable resource for anyone looking to buy or sell in this Caribbean paradise. Paul has partnered with some of the most prominent developers in the Cayman Islands, including Dart Real Estate and the Ritz-Carlton Residences, winner of many awards, most recently recognized as top 5% producer across the entire Corcoran affiliate network in 2024. Paul is known for his accessibility, market knowledge, and ability to simplify complex decisions for his clients. Beyond real estate, Paul is a devoted family man, an animal lover, and a competitor on the golf course, pickleball courts, and in the gym. His competitive spirit directly translates into relentless drive to achieve the best outcomes for his clients. Honored to call the Cayman Islands home, Paul is passionate about helping others experience the same joy of island living. Wow, what a life. So exciting. You've been in so many places. You've lived and worked in California, Bermuda, and now the Cayman Islands. So Paul, tell me, how did you get to the Cayman Islands? What brought you there? And tell us your journey. I always like to start from the beginning. Where were you born? Where did you grow up? And what led you to where you are today?
Well, I was born in Canada to parents who immigrated from Belfast, Northern Ireland, and
Oh, wow.
uh, spent my childhood moving around a little bit. My parents had made some real estate decisions, and it meant moving from school to school. So that created some resiliency, I guess, in respect to my personality and my ability to fit in. So, sales was always kind of the natural place to fall into. My love for the island and the sun and the palm trees actually started in California when I was 18. I planned a trip to go to California to visit some family friends with another friend. My friend backed out the day before. I went alone. I spent a week in LA. Where was I? Pacific Palisades, or I can't remember exactly where I was, but the family said, "Hey, why don't you stick? Why don't you hang out here? Why don't you? We'll help you get into college, and you can live with us, or we'll get you your start." And I was very, very tempted, but I met this girl, and we
Of
our
course.
relationship was very, very new and very, very young. And I said to the family, "I love it here. I'd love to stay, but I met someone, some girl. I got to go back and see where this goes." And we fast forward to today, and I'm still married, 35 years
Oh,
married, 40 years
no way.
together, beautiful 19-year-old daughter together. We've had multiple animals together. We built this business together, and it's been fun. I left
Wow.
Toronto in five and moved to Bermuda, selling office equipment. My first time kind of away and living and working abroad. And then in 1999, I decided to move to Cayman, and we've been in Cayman ever since. So it's been a really fun journey. And I'm 58 now, and I can't believe that, but I'm 58, and it's been a lifetime here in Cayman, and life is good. Every day in shorts is a good day.
Wow, what a story. And I did not know. I love hearing where people came from. And I knew a little bit, but I didn't know that your family was from Belfast. That is very cool. And you've been together 35 years. I've been together with my husband for 35 years and we've been working together ever since. So, but how old were you when you met her?
We are both 18.
18. Wow, that's incredible.
And
Well,
the unbelievable
congratulations.
part is I was captain of the football team and she was captain of the cheerleaders. True
Of
story.
course. I
So
love it.
you,
No,
you can't.
that I think, I just think when someone's been together that long, it speaks volumes and it does translate, I think, into real estate success or success in anything because you are committed to relationships and helping people. So I just want to applaud you for that. So for someone listening who's never been, how would you describe a typical day in the Cayman Islands?
Well, maybe let me point out geographically where we are, because
Yeah.
we are a pretty we're a pretty big secret. The secret's getting out, but we are 90 miles south of Cuba, and we're about 300 miles west of Jamaica. So we're in the middle of the Caribbean Sea. Um,
Okay.
Lucky for us, we're kind of a small little, we're in a small little position. We don't get a lot of weather activity, although we've seen it. Um, we're, um, we're a British overseas territory, so we drive on the other side of the road. We have
Okay.
our own dollar, but
Oh,
we do use US dollar alongside of that. Our dollar is actually worth 20 cents more than yours is, by the way, um,
wow.
in our marketplace here. But I mean, life in the Cayman is great. Our crime rate is very, very low. When I first got here, I never locked my doors until my German Shepherd figured out how to get out of the house, and then I had to lock him in. But never had any brushes with, anything here that's not
Wow.
super abnormal. We don't have any real drug problems here. We don't have casinos, so we don't have all the things that kind of go with that. We have one of the
Okay.
best beaches on it, 7 Mile Beach, um, where our population right now is about 80,000 people. Our marketplace is 85% North American, despite the fact that we're a British overseas territory. So
Okay.
and we have hedge funds and supporting financial services with that, and lawyers that support that arena. So our the pillars of our economy, the two main pillars of our economy, are tourism and financial services. So our locals, whether they've been here long enough to call themselves Caymanians, um, or folks who are working here on work permits, are typically making a lot of money. So we're not
Hmm.
only selling short communities to foreign buyers, but we're also selling beautiful homes to people who are living and working here or retiring here.
Right. That was my question. Who lives there? I guess loosely percentage wise, but is it mostly locals, expats, retirees, or a mix, or is one more prevalent than the other?
More than 50, and maybe unfortunate for the locals, but more than 50% of the folks here are actually not from here originally. They've either
Okay.
come here on work permit or they've moved here for tax reasons, and we can get into that conversation in a bit if you'd like to. But
Yes, absolutely.
so, we're I guess our largest population here is probably, I think our two largest represented countries are Jamaica and the Philippines, and they're making up the construction workers and the
Hmm.
domestic helpers, the landscapers, and et cetera, and also some professionals as well. And then a lot of Canadians. They nickname this place Grand Canada because there are so many Canadians here, and a lot of Americans.
Canadians
So
are
the Canadians are,
everywhere.
well,
Canadians are
we're
everywhere.
well, we're here because in Canada, if you want to get warm all year round, there's
Okay.
really nowhere to
Oh,
go. Western Canada, like Vancouver, has um, wet and damp and let's call them cold winters. So that's the only place to hide from the wicked side of Canada, which is on the East Coast, or Toronto, where I'm from, where you get pretty serious winters. So
okay.
this is a good spot for us. And the bonus of being tax free as a Canadian, because we can go offshore and pay and don't pay and not pay income tax.
Is it tax free? Well, let's talk about the tax free. Is it tax free for everyone or just Canadians? I mean, or is it tax free
It's
for
tax
anyone who
free
lives
for
there?
it's tax free for everyone. So let's not use the tariff word. That's a bit of a dirty word these days, I guess. But we are tariffed. So everything that comes in here has a duty paid on it, and it's paid by the end users. So if you're buying a car, there's 28% duty on a car. If you're buying a suit, there's 22% on a suit, et cetera, including all our food items. So we're one of the more expensive places on the planet to live. But for those of us who are working here, we're not paying property tax, we're not paying income tax, we're
Wow.
not paying sales tax.
Wow.
I mean, the sales tax is the duty, but so our country is run on the income we produce through tourism, financial services, work permit fees, because we have 20,000 people on work permits that are paying a fee, or employees are paying a fee for those folks to work for their employers. So it's a totally different structure than yours. And if you come here as an American, you're not paying income tax until you talk to Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam wants your money, regardless of where you live worldwide. And
Okay.
but Europeans and Canadians and a lot of other countries can actually come here and claim this as their home and not pay taxes in their own country.
So you guys, the group you just mentioned, can claim it as their home and not pay taxes back in their original country. But Americans could go, and can Americans just go live there, or do they have
Yes,
to go
absolutely.
through any? Okay, so
No,
Americans could go
there.
live there.
I mean, you can live and work in Cayman on a work permit, regardless of what country you're from. We're obviously slightly protected, sanctioned countries, like everybody is kind of dealing with some of the countries that are causing trouble, I guess. But if you're an American and you're coming here just to simply, if you wanted to buy a second, third, fourth home, there are no
Mhm.
restrictions. There are no restrictions on what you can buy and how you buy it. There is a stamp
Okay.
tax on the purchase, one time only at 7.5%, but no ongoing property tax yearly. So it's an easy place
Wow.
to own a
Park your
property for a
money.
very long time. Yeah. And park your money. I mean, despite what you see on TV, we're a clean place. There's no money laundering going on here. I mean, there is, but not that we can find or are aware of. The old days of planes coming in with drugs and money, that's that's
So
30 years ago.
that's
That
oh,
doesn't
okay,
happen
that's
here.
so interesting. Okay, well, that's good to know, and I was surprised because you think of I mean, typically you will think of island or island life, and there will be crime, and there will be and so you're saying it's, 99% clean,
Almost
there's you
none,
don't
almost
wow.
non-existent.
And is it how do they do that? How do the police do that? How do they are the laws stricter, or how do they, um, make crime so low? How do they keep it so low?
Well, first of all, guns are illegal,
Okay,
so you
well,
can't
that's a good one.
gun unless you're part of a gun club. There are guns here. We unfortunately have, because of our proximity to some of the other islands, and let's not pick on anybody, but some of the other Caribbean islands have their issues. You can get here by boat. I mean, we're not like the U.S. Virgin Islands where you can actually island hop in a matter of hours. We are
Mm,
90 miles from. That's a long trip across,
yeah,
sometimes treacherous seas to get there. Cuba's in the way of Miami, so you have to go around Cuba to get to Miami. The other side of the Caribbean is, I mean, Turks and Caicos is a long way away by boat. You can fly there easily, but um, it's a very religious island. So
oh,
Christianity being the main religion, but we have a Jewish community here, and we have a Muslim community here, and we have Catholics and Christians and Seventh Day Adventists, et cetera, et cetera. So
okay,
lots of churches here. Very morally grounded. Our political system is morally grounded. They're not always the smartest people, like across the globe in politics, but we're there. I guess there is corruption, but we don't see it. It's not
right,
something we talk about. Kickbacks, I guess, probably happen, but we don't know or talk about it. So we
right,
just we're we're founded in 1503. We're founded
wow.
by pirates, but and we have
And
a
so who are
pirate
the
history.
people? Who so are people that are there is there most people well, what's the percentage of people who live there full time? Like, I assume you live there full time, and do
They're full.
people come in and second, third homes there and come in as a second home? What is it like when you go there? Do you feel like it's transient or people do live there?
We're pretty busy year round, but I mean our population balloons to traffic is a little different in the wintertime because that's our main season. Our temperatures here are between mid 70s at night in the winter, maybe 85 during the day, and then in the summer it's hot. It's 95 degrees every day. So summer's a hot time. So the snowbirds or the homeowners from abroad are typically coming to escape colder weather. So our population is bigger in the wintertime. But from, let's call it December 1 through May 1st, the population is bigger. because of those homeowners that are here. But those folks typically come and go because we got an international airport and you can land
Okay.
any plane here. You can fly direct to the UK. You can fly direct to New York. You can fly direct to Houston, Dallas, LA, Cayman Airways Act. We have our own carrier. So Cayman Airways flies to LA, flies to Denver, flies to,
Oh, okay.
we've flights into Philly. We got flights into Toronto. We've got flights into Jamaica. We've got flights into, we used to have a flight to Barbados. So the airlift is excellent. So if you're here as
Oh,
a second, third homeowner, getting other places to kind of break up the monotony of island life is super simple.
it's amazing. Sounds amazing. It sounds very beautiful. I have a friend, a very good friend, who is a physical fitness trainer, health coach for one of your locals, and he pretty much goes back and forth from LA to Cayman. What's the flight from LA to Cayman?
I've been on it a couple times. It's about 5 hours.
Okay, not and is it direct?
Correct.
Oh wow, so it
It's
makes it easy
I
to.
think once a week, once or twice a week, but it's Cayman Airways and they're flying direct to LAX.
Okay, it makes it easy. So tell us what I have no idea the price points. Of course, there's the super high end, but what would be if someone wants to get a second home there and they just want to try it out, what would be the entry price? And then what would be your average price of homes you're selling?
Across the board, the average sale price is probably somewhere around 1.8 million.
Okay.
Um, anything the beach is 1,000 to 2,500 square foot, depending on the age of the building and the condition of the waterfront. 7 Mile Beach is actually 5.7 miles and not 7 miles. I don't know where the seven came from, but I guess that's 5.7. But yeah, so I mean, for our snowbirds coming down here, obviously those folks are probably, depending on their income or their history, are looking for a position on the water. So buying it, we do have a Ritz-Carlton residence here. You mentioned it earlier.
Hmm.
Um, have a Kimpton residence or hotel and residences here. We've got a Four Seasons coming in the next couple of years. So we've got a Mandarin that is actually under construction now on the eastern
Wow.
side of the island. So those properties are, if you wanted a three-bedroom, you need to arrive with about 5 million to do that.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. They're
we just
beautiful.
sold we just sold you've seen the Shark Tank before?
Yes. Yeah.
We know Barbara Corcoran, of course, right? We know her.
Yes.
Barbara comes here.
Yeah.
Barbara comes here often. Actually, she stays at one
Oh,
of the
she did.
hotels, and she likes Cayman a lot. I haven't had a chance to meet her, but um,
Oh, nice.
a well, I guess it's not my confidential information, but Mark Cuban just bought a penthouse here for 38 million.
Wow. Oh, I'm sure it's
At the
all over the news.
I mean, it might be now because I've opened up my mouth, but he's not my client and it's not my property. So, but we're located in the heart of 7 Mile Beach. So there's a road that runs up and down the beach, and there are residential properties on both sides, both beachfront and beach view. And then there's obviously commercial properties. We're in a commercial property called the Grove, and we're a stone's throw away from Mark's penthouse. So
And
Marcus
so
penthouse is
are there a lot it does it look like Miami, or give me a visual of what it looks like? Are there high rises or everything low? What does it look
well, a
like?
combination of we can only build to 10 stories right now, and they're trying to
Okay.
every year the developers want to push the envelope on that, get higher. So
Mhm.
there are probably, let's say, maybe not a dozen. There's probably 10 story buildings along the beach. Most of them are 2 and 3 stories. But as time goes on, those properties age and the owners are approached by developers who come in and say,
Mhm.
you're going to lose your condo for 3 months or for 3 years, and we're going to build a 10 story building and we're going to triple your value. So that's happening now. And I mean, the product quality is top notch. Our build code is Miami-Dade, so we're building to hurricane standards. You don't build a home here without hurricane rated windows and doors, despite the fact that we're not a big target. But I mean, a starter home here for someone from abroad in the 7 Mile Beach corridor, which is really the place to be because that's where the restaurants are. We're a foodie nation, by the way, as well.
Oh,
So
I
if
had
you want
no
to
idea.
be, yeah, we have, you know, it'd be funny for me to send you an email with my recommendation to clients or newbies to the island of my favorite restaurants. There's 10 of them, there's 12 of them, there's
Wow.
15 of them. The food here is sensational. Our grocery stores are outstanding. They're as good as anywhere. I rank them in order of one looks like Trader Joe's, which is up in your region in
Right.
Florida, I guess. One looks like a Whole Foods. The other looks like a Publix. So, and our the access to good quality food and produce is amazing. And as a realtor, part of my journey with new buyers is let's think I'm crazy, but let's go walk into the grocery store and walk around.
Right.
And everybody's
Wow.
like, wow, never thought of doing this. He said, this is amazing. Our liquor
I
stores
would
are one.
not think that you would go to the Cayman Islands and expect to have all that. You would think that because you are so isolated, you wouldn't have any of that.
We're not third world here. I mean, we call
Yeah.
ourselves bragging the jewel of the Caribbean. We're very different than all the other Caribbean islands because of, our history and, what supports us in relation to how we fund everything. Our country is not, it doesn't have a very big debt, if one at all. A couple of years ago,
Mm.
we had nothing. Our educational system here is good. We have a couple of colleges.
Oh,
Most
wow.
expat families send their children abroad for college, but we
Hmm.
do have two colleges here. We have several private schools that a lot of the maybe more affluent Canadians and expat children go to. We have a good public school system. Our racism is basically non-existent. Everybody
Wow.
likes everybody. Um, we don't care if you're a star. We don't care if you're, well, we might care if you're Brad Pitt, maybe. I guess my wife would. Uh, but but people like Mark Cuban, really funny story about Mark Cuban. When Mark first came here, he owns another property on the other side of the island. When Mark first came here, he'd get off his plane and he'd go down to 7 Mile Beach and he'd go into a sports bar called Legends and he'd sit at the bar and he'd watch sports.
And no one
And
would bother him.
no one would really bother him. He sat right next to one of my best friends once. My friend told me the story. He's like, that's super cool. My friend played basketball in college, and Mark sat next to him. He was like, you're Mark Cuban. He goes, yeah. So what? And they sat together for a couple hours watching a basketball game, and Mark had a drink. But we're not stalking our celebrities.
Right.
Like Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top has a home here. He's the long bearded
I
dude.
don't know who. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. I was like, who is that? The guy
So
with,
ZZ
yes.
Top,
Okay.
Billy
Yes.
Gibbons is
Okay.
one of the best guitar players to walk the
Yes.
planet. But he
Okay.
has a home here. The bass player from the Stones has a home here. Iggy
Wow.
Pop, who was a pop rocker, he's got a home here. There were a bunch of country stars here a bunch of years ago.
Oh,
There's
wow.
ex-hockey players here, and no one really knows or cares they're here. There's a couple of
Nice.
Hollywood guys, a couple of producers here that own
Mhm.
properties in some of the best properties on island or best condos on the island, but we're not starstruck. There's what's her name? Gigi Gaviv or Fabib. My daughter would
Oh,
know her name.
Gigi Hadid.
Gigi Gaviv. Her and her sister come here all the time. They love it
Oh, nice.
because no one
Oh,
hires them.
nice.
The F1 guys come here. George Russell was here before the season started, and yeah, it's very welcoming. It's very cosmopolitan. It's very North American. Um, it feels like home, and it's one of the only places in the world where you can actually let your guard down and not worry about maybe your kid gets away from you in the grocery store for a couple of minutes. We don't worry about that.
Well,
Pretty unique place.
you are debunking so many myths. I thought there would probably be crime and corruption and cartels. I thought it would be really boring there, and it would be like food when you go to Hawaii, or the food's okay, it's not great.
Nope.
I didn't know that the grocery stores would be so nice. You really do, and then the education. So you're a full self-sufficient running country, and I really did not know. We've got to go to commercial break. We will be right back with Paul Young out of the Cayman Islands. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike Zorich, a three-time California state champion in Greco-Roman wrestling at 114 pounds. Mike, blind since birth, was born in Hartford, Connecticut. He was a six-time national placer, including 2 seconds, 2/3, and 2/4. He also won the Veterans Folk-Style Wrestling twice at 152 pounds. In all these tournaments, he was the only blind competitor. Nancy Zorich, a creative spirit whose talents have taken her to the stage and into galleries and exhibitions in several states. Her father, a commercial artist who shared his instruments with his daughter and helped her fine-tune her natural abilities, influenced her decision to follow in his footsteps. Ms. Zorich has enjoyed a fruitful career doing what she loves. Listen Saturday mornings at 12 Eastern for the Nancy and Mike Show for heartwarming stories and interesting talk. Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like it was almost instant, like I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. You know, it feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Welcome back to Mastering the Art of Success. I'm your host, Debbi DiMaggio. We are here today with Paul Young. He is from the Cayman Islands. We actually both work for the same company. We work for Corcoran. And so I'm just so excited to hear all about the Cayman Islands. I always thought, again, all the myths you hear, I thought it would just, there's this big beach and I like to move around a lot. I don't like to sit. And so I'm like, well, it's not a place for me. I'd be bored. There wouldn't be a lot for me to do. I don't want to just hang out on the beach. I had no idea that it was so cosmopolitan and you had great restaurants and all of the things. So let's talk about other things that we talked about off break just now. What sort of activities are popular for you living there full time and for the tourists who come in?
Well, I'm a golfer, so we are a growing golfing destination. There are 2 golf courses here. There used to be 3. One got closed. There's a PGA Championship course that they're talking about building. We're very fortunate to have a family out of Michigan, the Dart family, who arrived here in the 80s, fell in love with the island, and have invested. I think we're at 5 billion so far. So
Wow.
one of the reasons why, we're I'm going to get to your question, but one of the reasons why we're so special is because our infrastructure is solid. The roads have been built by the Dart family in exchange for, some advantages when building hotels and maybe duty relief, etc. But from an activity standpoint, I mentioned we're a foodie place. We have every
Yeah.
January have an event at the Ritz-Carlton where all the big chefs come in, and we week-long event, and people come from all over the world to enjoy that. Our restaurants are first class, so going out to restaurants, there are dozens of excellent restaurants, all within a mile of each other. So it's and they're nicely spread out. It sounds like I'm talking about one block that
Right.
has a bunch of. It's not that, but I mean we're a top 10 destination in the world for diving on
Oh,
all
wow.
3 islands. We are 3 islands. Grand Cayman
Oh, I
is
didn't know that.
the
Oh, right.
largest and the most popular and most cosmopolitan. The other 2 islands are 90 miles from here,
Oh,
Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. So diving is very, very popular. I'm a dive master and have been since when did I get my dive master? 95, 96. The waters here are very safe. You can see sharks if you know where to find them, but they're not on top of us. We have a very neat stingray location called Stingray City, where you can go and interact with the stingrays in a safe
wow.
environment on a sandbar. We have pickleball has exploded here. We have a 20 court pickleball center in
Wow.
Georgetown, is 15 minutes from my office, but we have other pickleball courts all over the island. We have two tennis clubs, one at the Ritz-Carlton and one private one. We have rugby here. We have a lot of fishing here. We have multiple fishing tournaments. In fact, my daughter was out on her boyfriend's boat on Sunday. They caught six by accident and caught catch and release. They caught six little sharks and a whole
Oh
bunch of
my,
tuna. So the
wow.
waters are, I think rich might be over dramatic, but fishing is good here.
Wow.
12 Mile Banks is about an hour boat ride out. So there's lots of
Mhm.
fishing going on here. We do have a sailing community and we have two sailing clubs.
Wow.
What else we got going on here?
That is a lot. That's incredible.
Yeah,
Sounds so fun.
there's probably some drinking clubs out there too, but yeah,
Some
just
drinking clubs.
a fun place. And I can't, you mentioned to me something you like to move around. Me too.
Yes.
I'm not the kind
Yeah.
of person that can plant myself on the beach all day. So there's lots of other things. There's some tourist attractions as well to take part in if you're a visitor. But if you're living here and you own property here, because of our airlift, if you get bored, you get on a plane and you go to Toronto, or you go to Miami, or I was in Miami a couple of weeks ago, or you go to Tampa, direct flight to Tampa, or you go to South America, or you go, anywhere, or you go to Europe with a direct flight to Heathrow from Cayman.
What's the flight to Miami, let's say? Because is
It's an
that
hour.
pretty close? Oh,
It's
okay.
an hour.
So it is quick. That's like me going from,
Tampa,
yeah,
and Tampa's an
that's
hour and a
me.
half.
Oh, okay. So that's really close. That's me flying Northern California where I live to my second place in LA. So that's a easy flight. So you can just bop off.
Yep.
So let's go back into real estate. I want to talk about the taxes in a minute, but have you had any memorable encounters or stories of clients who came to Cayman for one reason and ended up staying for another?
Yeah, so many. And could I think of a specific one to highlight? This is an interesting one, I guess. So I had a couple reach out to us, and they were coming down to look at real estate. This is on a Friday. We're coming Sunday, and we're coming for 4 days, and we're coming to look for property for our son. It's like, great. Is your son coming? No, he's not. The mother and father came down here, and in 24 hours purchased a $4 million condo on the waterfront in Georgetown, so not on 7 Mile Beach. And um, when we ran our due diligence, as we all do in our real estate business, on who they are, source of funds, etc.,
Mm.
the source of funds letter came back, and this 18-year-old kid was making $1 million a month
Wow. Who
as a
was he?
YouTube,
What did he
as a
do?
well, I can't say who he is, but he's a
Right, it's
YouTube
okay.
influencer, and
Wow.
he draws maps or worlds for one of the biggest uh, games. He's a gamer too, so incredible. And he's living in this condo alone. His parents are actually coming down in a couple of weeks to take their position. I mean, they're school teachers. Their son got
Wow.
involved in something that made him a lot of money and continues to make him a lot of money. And they're
Wow.
actually Canadian, but people come down here and they visit year after year, and they come down here because of our safety and because of how
Mhm.
amazing our weather is in the wintertime. It's perfect. I mean, where's the best weather on the planet? Probably San Diego, right? You
Uh,
might differ. Like Northern
well,
California,
there's in Northern
I mean
California
more.
because of this. There's a lot of it gets overcast. I lived in San Diego. It gets overcast a lot.
I've been there
So
once, but in the wintertime, we're you know we're 85 degrees, 80 to 85 degrees every single day, and it barely rains. I got here in January '99, and it didn't rain until May.
where do you get your water?
We desalinize our water, so it comes
Okay.
out of the ocean. So we have
Oh,
very good quality drinking water. You don't have to buy bottled
wow.
water here, although
Really? Wow.
to play that bottled water game. But our water is super pure that we drink. It doesn't have any taste to it, which water shouldn't. But
Right.
yeah, that's just I'd say very unique place. We have competition with Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, but you know, visiting and staying in a hotel is one thing.
Hmm.
Moving your life or moving a few months of your life every year to a certain other place, it needs to check a lot of boxes. And
Right.
in the Caribbean, some places are a little backwards and
Right. Yeah, Cayman does
we
not
don't
it
sell
sounds
chicken.
like it's a cosmopolitan place to be, and you can live there full time, and then you can go vacation in some of the other islands, more or
Yeah.
less.
If you want
And
to buy
what
you want to buy chiclets on the beach here, don't come here because we don't sell chiclets on the beach. You know what chiclets are? Remember chiclets?
Yeah, they
They're like
gum?
gum. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So like in
Or no one
Mexico,
they're not selling
we're
jewelry on the beach
no,
and blankets. Okay.
no. I
So
mean,
it's
on the public beach, there's some water sports operators who are offering jet ski services,
right.
but for the most part, the 7 Mile Beach is either luxury hotels and luxury condos, and then there's a section that is the public beach, which is where these folks are. But we're 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 friendly people, so we're not here to make anybody uncomfortable or give them a hard time.
Nice. And who are some of the other people, or what do they do? Like the 18-year-old who now lives there and he's a YouTuber. What other sorts of jobs did these people who are living there full time and making a living like yourself?
A lot of people will transition. I've got a lot of South Africans here now too, but accounting is a very big deal. We got Ernst and Young, Deloitte's. We've got RSM. We have missing some of the giants here, but we have all the big accounting firms here and offices with hundreds of accountants who are all making. I mean, a junior accountant probably makes 80,000 plus a year US with no tax. So
Wow.
you make 80, you keep 80. If you're an American, then you deal with Uncle Sam when your tax season is over, and but we don't tax your income here. So it's a great place for a young accountant to come from anywhere in the world, really, because there is a
Mhm.
tax exemption for Americans living abroad. I think it's 100,000 or 98,000 or something like that. So, as a 25-year-old accountant coming to Cayman as an American, making $100,000 tax free, it's an expensive place to live, yes, but um, tax free makes a big difference. I mean,
A huge difference.
for
So
Canadians,
if they're not committed to buying yet, but they're going to come work, for a couple years and maybe they end up staying, is it hard to get a rental? What are the rental prices if someone wanted to come and try it out for a year or two?
I mean, our rental market is tight. The inventory,
Mm,
there's a lot of inventory, and that's changing because there's a lot of development going on right now. But I think if you're looking to live in the 7 Mile Beach corridor, maybe I should give you a specific example. I have a lawyer living above my garage. It's a 500
wow.
square foot decent apartment in about
Mhm.
7 years. House is 7 years old, so it's a fairly new property. He's paying 3,700 US a month for that 500 square foot apartment. He's
Wow.
close to got an ocean view, and he's close to everything. Um, so I think that anywhere from 3 to 5, 6,000 a month, US dollars to live in the 7 Mile Beach corridor, and as you
Mhm.
work center, the prices get lower. Location, location, location.
Right.
So same you said for purchase pricing too. You can buy a house, um, in a neighborhood 30 minutes from the 7 Mile Beach corridor for a lot less than you can in the 7 Mile Beach corridor. So some of the images that you presented
Right.
initially there, have them up. One of those houses, most of those homes are in the multi-million dollar price range.
Right. They're beautiful, right on the water. How is buying property in Cayman different from the US or Canada? Are there unique rules or opportunities people should know about?
First of all, there are no restrictions to purchasing, with the exception of buying multiple investment properties. So if you are a foreign buyer and you buy more than uh, three apartments or houses or investment properties or properties in general, you need to have a trade and business license to run that Airbnb program. And it's not hard to get, but that's really the only restriction that exists. We allow land banking here, so you can buy land and sit on it forever. So you
Mhm.
could buy a parcel and wait 20 years and have it double or triple in value. Um, the one-time stamp tax that I think we mentioned earlier at 7.5%, no
Mhm.
ongoing property taxes. There is no um, real limit on how long you can stay here and live in your home. It's easier when you have permanent residency because you don't have to deal with immigration and extending your stay because you come through the airport, and our customs officers, hopefully, our immigration officers, hopefully politely welcome you back and say, how long are you staying this time? And you're like, well, I'm going to be here for 3 months. Great. They stamp your passport. If someone's to come in that position, say, well, I'm going to stay here for 3 years, then that's slightly different because you can only get through 3 months unless you have permanent residency. So if you wanted to stay longer term, then you would apply for permanent residency and you would get it. And
And
it
get
just
it.
can come and go as you please without any limits. And
And
um,
how hard is it to get that permanent
um,
status?
so things are changing slightly now, but there are several different categories. Some don't let you work, some do let you work. But currently at $2.4 million investment in real estate and $100,000 one-time fee, you get permanent residency for life. And
Okay.
that means you can come and go as you please. Doesn't mean you can work here. Doesn't mean you can own a business here. But it means you can stay here as long as you want to. And again, we come back to to U.S. citizens having not being able to disconnect from the tax base in the U.S.
Mhm.
without giving up their passport, which is a very big deal. Some
Right.
people do it, but other places like Canadians and Europeans who can come here and say, "This is my home. This is where I live. This is where I make my money. This is where I pay my tax," which means you pay no tax, and
Wow.
and offshore. So as a Canadian, I don't have access to healthcare in Canada. I don't have access to anything. I'm a Canadian citizen. I have a Canadian passport, but I'm also a Caymanian citizen, and this is my home, so I don't pay Canadian taxes.
And what That's amazing. So the only way for an American to become fully Caymanian, if that's right, they have to get
Caymanian,
the
Caymanian is
Caymanian.
how we say it.
They have to get rid of their US passport if
Nope,
they want
nope,
to.
nope.
I
You,
mean,
you
no, but if they want to not pay taxes in the United States.
you have to give up your passport, yeah, but you need to have a backup. So you need to have a passport to give up your passport. So there are people doing it. I mean, Europe's changing slightly. A friend of mine's just moving to Malta, and he's actually Canadian, but he's moving to Malta. But yeah, I mean, I have a friend who's from Tennessee. He'd been here a very, very long time. He had a very successful accounting career, and he this is his home, and he actually gave up his passport, and it's a very big deal. And he told me a story of giving up his passport where, you go into a line that's very short, and you are next to a line that's very long of people who are actually getting their passports and becoming American citizens, and it's surreal. You get treated like the unwanted stepchild when you come back because obviously you can still travel back to the US, but when you
Right.
when you decide not to be an American anymore, other Americans are offended, and I guess they have every right to be. But yeah, to be totally offshore here as an American citizen, you have to
Give up your passport.
renounce your citizenship.
Okay. And so have you spoken to him? Now that he's done that and clearly he's been there and have a successful practice in accounting, does he have any remorse for doing that, or how does he feel? Or is he just living his life because this is what he's always loved to do?
But he's living his life. I mean, and another example, one of my agents is from Louisiana, and her husband has given up his citizenship,
Wow.
bent her, and he's went from being a car mechanic to being a very rich guy. And it just makes financial sense for him to give it up. He's got a passport here and probably elsewhere. I don't know all his details, but no, he's not unhappy with his decision. I mean, giving up your right to be a citizen in your own country is a very big deal. But I guess if the
Mhm.
money's big,
You could
it
still
makes
travel back.
sense. Yeah, and
And what does
when
he
you're
do? You said he was a mechanic. What does he do? How did he make all his money now in the Cayman Islands?
invented something for cars. I don't want to get
Oh,
too
okay. Okay,
about
no,
it.
I didn't hear it. You glitched. Oh, he
He's not.
invented
You
something.
know, if I mentioned his name, no one would know who he is except
Yeah,
those who know.
but he
But
invented something, so
he
that's
invented,
pretty
and
special.
yeah, and it's changed the lives of his family. And
Oh, that's amazing.
they bought a $3.5 million home about 5 years ago, and they're tearing it down now to build something new. So it's they have a great life, and they're great people, and they deserve what they have. They're good friends, and like I said, his wife is one of my agents, and she's awesome.
Nice. That's amazing. Do a lot of people, I mean, a handful of people renounce their
It's
citizenship?
not common.
Yeah.
I mean, some people
Uh,
say, "Hey, I love it there, and I'm not here. I'm not here to get away from paying taxes." And maybe that's it's a bit of a maybe a sore subject for some. I mean, I haven't paid taxes since 1994, and I chose to leave my country, my family, and everything I had there, and my hockey career, to live in the Caribbean, and it's what I wanted. And but I don't benefit from being a Canadian outside of having maybe one of the better passports on the planet. But I don't
right,
have any. I don't drive on the roads except when I'm a tourist. I don't.
right.
I don't have healthcare there. I have private healthcare here, so I'm not
That's what I
leaning.
was going to ask about. So we as Americans, we don't really get health care. We pay for it. So it's kind of, we're not giving anything up, but being a citizen, yes, of course. But what is healthcare like, and is it expensive there?
I'll just give you some personal examples. So, as a family of three, my wife and I are in our late 50s and healthy. My daughter is 19 and healthy. Our monthly private good insurance, it has caps to it, but our private insurance is about 2,000 US a month for the family.
For the family?
Well,
Okay, okay.
but when you think about the trade-off of if I was in
No
Canada,
taxes.
yeah, if I was in Canada making, let's call it $100,000 a year. If I was making $100,000 a year in Canada, 50% of that's going back to the government in
Right,
income.
right,
So we're higher. We're I guess call us a socialist country. So because we have social medicine, we half our money goes back to government, and but then you're also paying sales tax on everything, and you're taxed to death. So it's a great place for Canadians to be based on that. You make a dollar,
right,
you keep.
right. And I assume that the healthcare there is very good.
Our doctors are from all over the world.
Hmm.
I have had one, two, three surgeries here, two knee surgeries and a gut surgery here, and very successful. I mean, if you're very unwell, you want to go to places like Dallas or
Okay.
Miami or
Hmm.
Jacksonville or some of the best hospitals on the planet to fight cancer.
Right,
We have a cancer hospital here, but I think if you're looking for the best possible treatment to save your life, you're going to want to be somewhere else. But if you
right.
have an emergency, we have a very good heart specialty hospital on island. There are one, two, three, four hospitals on island,
Wow,
and
that's a lot.
lots of walk-in, very good clinics and excellent doctors across the board. Both Caribbean doctors and American, Canadian, UK, South African. I don't want to leave anybody out here. Doctors here,
Right,
so
exactly.
health,
Well,
healthcare, healthcare.
you've absolutely debunked anything I thought about the Cayman Islands. Now I can't wait to come visit you. For someone who's listening, who's curious about island living, what's the thing you wish they knew about life in the Cayman Islands?
Well, we talked about most of
I
it, but
know.
our weather patterns are great. Our winters are fabulous. If you don't like the snow, it's a great place to be. If you like, our locals are friendly. They're
Oh, good.
intelligent. Um, we don't, we're not racists. I mean, we don't have a racist problem here. Um, we're very, there's, I don't know what the number is, maybe 60 different countries represented here. It's an interesting place to live because you meet people from all over the place. And unlike the other Caribbean islands, a week is great, but 3 months is different. And all the other Caribbean islands fall into that category. If you come and go
Right,
for, even if you're a homeowner and you come for a week, it doesn't really matter where you are. I mean,
right,
Turks Caicos has wonderful beaches, but living the life and being here longer term is very different than coming for a week because you just don't interact with the locals
right,
or have to go out and find the right ingredients for a special menu on a Saturday night when you're having a dinner party at 15 different places or not being able to get at all what you want. I mean,
right.
our local fish, there's lots of local fish to eat here that comes from our fishermen. But yeah, it's a very sensible, easy oasis.
And it sounds very welcoming as well. That
Very well.
you welcome us. You welcome us to come visit. So we have to wrap it up. Where can people find you, Paul? What's the easiest way?
Um, Call me on my cell number or call me or send me an email, paul@corcorancayman.com. Happy to help. Obviously, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, but we will roll out the rest. for you. And I'm the relocation director for the company as well. I happen to be the broker and owner as well. But I'm the relocation director, and part of our services in relation to people buying property here is welcome. Glad you love your home. Call me anytime if you need a doctor, a chiropractor, a dentist, a barber,
Right.
which I need one right now, or a recommendation for a restaurant. We typically become, let's say, friends. It's an open word, but friends with our
Yeah.
buyers, because they're here, they're new, they're looking for friends, they're looking for things to do, and they're looking for recommendations. So we don't stop with a here's your key, goodbye.
Right.
It's a long-term relationship, and I know that happens in other markets too, but people tend to maybe rely on us a little more heavily because, hey, the fridge is broken in my house. Do you have an appliance guy? Absolutely.
I love it. That is, you are singing my song. Well, Paul, thank you so much for joining us. This was so exciting. And now I can't wait to come visit. I had no idea it was anything like you've described. It sounds like a wonderful place. And we thank you for joining us today, every Thursday at 11 Pacific Standard Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, live on DebbiPodcast.com. Thank you so much, Paul. It was so fun.
Thank you so much for having me, Debbie. And it was awesome to meet you in Arizona. And it was a chance meeting that
Yes,
turned into this. And I'll follow you from
exactly.
now on.
Thank
Thanks for having
you.
me.
Tune in each week for another episode of Mastering the Art of Success with host Debbi DiMaggio. Thursdays, 2 p.m. Eastern. Real stories, real strategies, real success.